Why does the moon glow? The moon looks like it's glowing, but what if I told you it actually doesn't? Every night, we see it shining in the sky, sometimes full and bright, sometimes just a thin crescent. It lights up the darkness so well that it almost feels like a giant lamp hanging above us. So it's totally natural to think that the moon must be producing its own light. But here's the surprising part. It doesn't. I used to think the same thing. I mean, if something is glowing in the dark, it must be a light source, right? That's how our brain works. We see brightness and we assume it's coming from the object itself. So I decided to test this idea using something simple at home. I took a flashlight. This will represent the sun. Then I grabbed a regular object, like a spoon or even a small mirror. This will represent the moon. Now watch this. When I shine the flashlight onto the object, it suddenly appears bright. In a dark room, it can even look like it's glowing on its own. But we know the truth. It's not producing any light. It's just reflecting the light from the flashlight. And that's exactly what the moon is doing. The moon doesn't generate light, it reflects sunlight. The sun is the real source of light, and the moon acts like a giant reflector in space. You can think of it like this. The sun is a flashlight, and the moon is a mirror. When sunlight hits the moon's surface, it bounces off in all directions. Some of that reflected light travels all the way to Earth, and that's what we see when we look up at night. But here's something interesting. The moon isn't even a very good reflector. In fact, it reflects only 10% of the sunlight that hits it. That's less than you might expect. It's actually quite dark, closer to the color of asphalt than a shiny white object. It just looks bright to us because everything else in the night sky is so dark. Now let's talk about something that confuses a lot of people, the phases of the moon. Why does the moon change shape? Why is it sometimes full, sometimes half, and sometimes just a thin curve? It might seem like the moon is turning its light on and off or changing how much light it produces, but that's not what's happening. The moon is always half lit by the sun, always. The reason it looks different from Earth is because of its position. As the moon orbits around our planet, we see different portions of the illuminated side. When the fully lit side faces us, we see a full moon. When only half of that lit side is visible, we see a half moon. And when just a small part is visible, we see a crescent. So the phases are really just a matter of perspective, a changing angle between the sun, the moon, and the Earth. Here's another cool thought. Even though the moon looks bright, it actually doesn't light up the night as much as we think. If the moon suddenly disappeared, nights would become much darker, especially in places without city lights. But stars would still be there, and our eyes would eventually adjust. Still, the moon plays a huge role in how we experience the night sky. It gives us soft light, creates shadows, and has inspired humans for thousands of years. So next time you look at the moon, remember this. It's not glowing. It's reflecting sunlight, just like that simple object in the flashlight experiment. And somehow, that makes it even more amazing, because what you're really seeing is sunlight traveling across space, bouncing off the moon and reaching your eyes. So here's a question for you. If the moon reflects sunlight, what do you think the Earth looks like from the moon? Let me know what you think.
You can stand under my umbrella.